I should not be here. Really, I shouldn't. And I shouldn't be talking to you. Yet, here I am. So where to start? I think it all came to head in the fall of '86 during an uncomfortable meeting with an academic advisor just 10 weeks before graduation. It was my first and last. In my hand, I had an envelope which held my academic records. He looked at me and quickly sized me up like a prosecuting attorney. And without hesitation, he asked for its contents. I reluctantly gave him the evidence he was looking for, transcripts. His eyes went right to the bottom line, and looking up quietly, he said, GPA 2.5. Huh. Pre-med, it says here. Yes, I muttered. MCATs, he asked. I pulled out the remaining papers, and this time his eyes got really big, and without hesitation he said, It appears, son, that you are in the 5% range? The bottom 5? Yes, I muttered again. So, what's the backup plan? He asked. A hush fell over the room. The last 2 years flashed before my eyes. What my advisor did not know was that I had a plan, or at least I thought I had a plan. To compensate for my abysmal academic performance, I was trying to get practical experience. Got an EMT license. I worked at the cancer center as an ECOG chart reviewer, and then the worm job. See, to get research experience, I applied to Dr. Weiss's lab in the neurosciences department. His team was studying neurotransmitters using a worm which was chosen for its very simplistic 200 neuron system. And I remember standing there as Dr. Weiss told me about the job. My expectations were crushed. I would not be assisting in cutting-edge research. Nope. I was to be the collector of worms, intestinal parasites from freshly killed hogs. Next day, I found myself driving each morning to a slaughterhouse where I spent several hours bent over a stainless steel table, up to my elbows in warm hog intestines, searching for those precious worms. Funny thing is, I was good at it. And so, for the next 2 years, worm boy I became. Now, with graduation fast approaching and words of my advisor still kind of swirling around in my head, I knew I needed that backup plan. I was discouraged by the lack of job prospects, and knowing the worm job was going to another unsuspecting undergrad, I appealed to Dr. Weiss. He offered me hope in the form of a letter of recommendation and the contacts of some of his colleagues. One glitch. His colleagues were in the UK. Undaunted, I hastily wrote to all his contacts, and after multiple rejection letters, I secured a job at Dr. Av Mitchinson's lab doing tissue culture work in immunology. That was at University College, downtown London. Now, upon my return, I had a new focus, and I basically devoted the next 5 years of my life making up for the first 4. And I'd settle into a yearly routine. In the fall, I'd send applications, take grad classes, work at the lab, publish papers, and in the spring and summer, I'd receive rejection letters, retake MCATs, collapse, repeat. Occasionally, this ritual would be interrupted by an interview where I would actually meet some of the people who would send me the rejection letters. They're nice people and all. I would eventually get into medical school and go on to many other hurdles and challenges throughout my career. So all this leads me to here. And I ask myself, why am I here? What did those years teach me? Can someone else perhaps benefit from my experience? Well, let me start with this. In the words of John Maxwell, in life you will learn lessons. There are no mistakes, just lessons. A lesson is repeated until it's learned. And if you don't or can't learn the easy ones, they get harder, generally with more consequences. You know you've learned a lesson when your actions change. So, what lessons did I learn? Well, one of the first lessons I've learned, or perhaps better stated, realized, and over time, is the art of self-reflection. That is, the ability to look outside myself, at myself. And I've come to the conclusion that by and large, we create our own lives. By fault or design, we generally place ourselves in the circumstances that shape our futures. Now we strive for success, and by doing so, we invariably need to overcome obstacles along the way. For myself, that biggest obstacle is me. Yes, I've met the enemy, and it is I. Secondly, I learned that it's not about the product, it's not about the end, as stated by Brene Brown in her book, Rising Strong. It's about the messy middle. That's where the magic happens. It's that process, the sifting and winnowing, the late nights, the early mornings, that endless repetition of getting it right. The endless work of never letting sight of the goal, no matter what. And in that messy middle, I've discovered it's also about the people that touch our lives when we are most vulnerable, either overtly or by accident. They make our goals possible. Formally, we call them mentors. Casually, we call them friends. But by whatever title, they are godsends, and we should not forget that. I wish for everyone who is listening to this that you should be as fortunate to have mentors such as I've had. Thank you, Dr. Paul Sondel. Third, I've learned that opportunity doesn't always look like opportunity. In life, we hold perceptions, and in each one of our perceptions lies our reality. It's where we have reference and judge and surmise the decisions we make. It can be narrow or broad. In my own reality at the time, it was narrow. I never connected a lowly worm job with an opportunity for international travel, leading to work that can actually make a meaningful difference. That experience reinforced the need to always give of oneself above and beyond, no matter the perceived reward or lack thereof. One can never know where such endeavors end. It also reinforced my belief then and now that I really am above nothing. No job is beneath me. I hope it's not for you either. Finally, I'd like to close with gratitude. The road to where I am has been tumultuous, delayed, and full of detours. It's not what I envisioned when I embarked upon this journey. However, if it weren't for where I've been, I wouldn't be where I am. I'm so grateful for my family, friends, and colleagues who have encouraged and supported and traveled with me. I really wouldn't be here without you. Thank you. And as I close, I'm reminded of the words from poet Robert Frost. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled, and that has made all the difference.